Hi, my name is Stephen Rafferty, and you're watching These Are Questions. This is the interview show where I ask people questions about things, life, and such not. Today's guest is a talented VFX artist, cosplayer, and prop maker. Please welcome Eddie Baltodano.
Thank you again. Thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
Likewise. Thank you so much for being a part of These Are Questions, Eddie. Really do appreciate it.
Not a problem, man.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we get into the show itself, let me explain the rules of These Are Questions. Okay. Eddie, I'm going to ask you a series of questions that's going to be based around your career and aspirations, along with a mixture of questions that are borderline idiotic and, well, randomly stupid.
Okay.
Do you accept those terms?
I accept. Let's get to it.
All right. Awesome. So before we begin, Eddie, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Internet, are you ready? I see a guy on the roof. He's waving to me right now, so I'm going to take that as a yes. With that, let's begin. We have a history together. For the viewers watching, you're one of the few people, and I say this very highly, that has personally edited for me on various projects, which I'm really particular with my stuff, and I don't let people really edit my works, you know? You're one of the trusted few that has worked on projects with me in the past, and you're a well-respected editor. Most notably, you were featured on a little project, and for those that have viewed my stuff from years ago, a little project called the Insert Title Here podcast. It was you, myself, Alex, Tyler, and special guests Billiam and Caleb for the very short one season podcast. A wacky idea that I came up with. But you did an amazing job as an editor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But you're not just an editor, though. You are a multi-talented prop maker and cosplayer. You know, I wanted to know your backstory on how you gotten to all your different exciting fields.
Well, it honestly came out when I was young, very young. You know, I've always been into movies and everything like that, you know, and just like how anybody else, any little kid watches a superhero or an action movie, they kind of like get drawn into that kind of thing, you know. So as for me as a kid, I absorbed all that kind of stuff. And my favorite thing about films was actually the prop making, you know, the props that were used in films such as like Star Wars, Ghostbusters, all that kind of stuff. Because if you think about it, these were back in the days when prop makers had to use whatever they found in a garage, in a yard sale, and use it in a big budget movie, you know. So that's my love for that kind of stuff is, you know, if I find a prop, how can I like integrate this in a film? Will it look cool on screen? That kind of stuff. And it's something I've always, you know, been fascinated by. My favorite two things was, of course, the Star Wars lightsaber. You know, that was my very first like introduction to like a prop that I desperately wanted. That one, and of course, second to none, the Ghostbusters proton pack, which is my ultimate favorite, along with the lightsaber. So yeah, that's pretty much what gets me into it. You know, it's like seeing this kind of things come to life and being able to hold it and show people out on how to do it too. And when it comes to my cosplay, who doesn't want to dress up as a superhero? Who does want to like be somebody else for just that short amount of time? You know, forget about your worries, forget about your problems at home. You put on a flight suit, you put on a superhero outfit, and you are that person for that time, you know, as a great feeling. And also seeing the faces of little kids when they come up to you and they light up, seeing like as if they saw their, you know, real life superhero right then and there. You know, that's why I do what I do, and I enjoy it a lot.
That's amazing there. And I've seen some of the work that you've done on your YouTube channel, and I've seen some of the photos and videos that you've created and some of the various props that you've made. And it's just fascinating to see how a prop master really goes into their craft and how to make their designs and their ideas come to life. It's so technical and so challenging, but so rewarding and amazing watching you do what you do best in that regard. So
Thank you.
It's a very difficult trait, and not everyone can do it, but it's very cool when it's done correctly and done rightly.
It takes a lot of trial and error. You know, you mess up along the way, but then you learn new techniques on how to do things here and there. and before you know it, you're coming up with ideas of your own on how to make the prop look amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely, definitely. And this is kind of a side question to the question itself, since you mentioned Ghostbusters and Star Wars. Which do
Yeah.
you prefer more? Do you prefer Ghostbusters more or Star Wars more?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I mean, I am wearing a Star Wars type shirt right here. You see a little Grogu on my chest right there.
hmm
But also, I mean, I always have this around me every single time, which is the proton pack, proton wand, the neutrino wand it's called. Um, it's a hard thing, but I think honestly, like the first love would have to be Star Wars,
hmm
because that was the first thing I was introduced. Ghostbusters later down the road, but it's still one of my favorites. But yeah, if I had to choose one, I would have to be, I would choose the Star Wars.
Okay, okay. Very cool, very cool. And we're gonna have to get Baby Yoda to sign a release waiver, just for the record, so he could be featured on this show.
That's
Get
fair enough. Fair enough.
We'll sign the paperwork later. We'll sign it there later. But that's awesome. That's very cool, and it's those early influences that really can make up a person and really can change the
Hmm.
person's identity there. And
Oh
it kind
yeah.
of leads to my next question, and I wanted to discuss more about it. I wanted to discuss how you created your YouTube channel, Cosplay Time, and talk to me about the early beginnings of the channel.
It really came down to like my love of filmmaking, because I love being behind the camera, and I love editing, that kind of stuff, so it's a nice little outlet. So when I was first started doing like these paint jobs of like Nerf blasters and turning them into like full scale movie props, I figured this is something that probably can be seen on YouTube.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna pretend like I created this. I definitely didn't. There's a lot of other filmmakers and a lot of prop makers out there on YouTube, and I greatly like appreciate them putting their stuff out there, so that way like a guy like me could pick that up and learn how to do it myself. And that's pretty much what got me into it, because I saw their videos. I'm thinking like, okay, that's actually pretty fun, very informative. What if I did it my way in a certain style that suits me? And have other people watch it and enjoy. And that's pretty much what I want to make. Is I want to make entertainment for people to watch.
Mhm. And you're one of the early creators, I would say. And it's weird to say early creators, because YouTube as a company has only been around for, I would say, what, 20 or 21 years.
Hmm.
Don't exactly quote me, internet. I have to look it up, but it's not that old of a company. But we both
Right.
started in the early beginnings of it, where just
Yes.
videos are being out left and right, and people were trying to figure
Hmm.
out their niche. And you're definitely one of the early innovators in terms of doing cosplay entertainment, doing prop making, and doing special effects and VFX work, at
Yes.
a time where now everyone is doing that more frequently.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
I would say you're definitely one of the early pioneers.
And it's funny because like YouTube, yes, true. YouTube is not that old. It's still like 20 something years old, maybe, or maybe 30 years old. I don't know either. But there were like outlets back in the day, like even before YouTube, people were finding ways to add special effects or do their own fan films or own little short films, that kind of stuff. There was always like a small little like area where you could, submit that kind of stuff. YouTube just made it more accessible to everybody like that, and had everybody jump in and be creative, and that's pretty much how I started out too, is that I wanted my stuff to be seen, even though how stupid or funny it could be. That's how it starts out. You do that kind of stuff first, and then you grow from it. So that's my way of seeing it, how it progressed throughout the years.
Absolutely, definitely. And it's great to see the growth of not just the company itself and the videos itself, but everyone's
Hmm.
individual growth there.
Oh
It's
yeah.
crazy. Time changes, time flies.
Big time, big
Like we were
time.
just mentioning before we started, it was like, wow, it's been years since we worked on something together like this. And look
Yeah.
how much we both have done in our respective fields. It's nothing short of surreal.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Definitely. So I want to go to my next question. My next
Hmm.
question is, how does ice melt?
It has to get really hot.
Oh,
That's the best answer I can give you right there.
that's the best answer. Okay. Okay.
That's the best answer. Get hot.
Okay.
Just make hot water, pretty much.
Okay. Just make hot water. Make hot water. Just let it boil, and
Yeah, there you go.
there you go. Okay. Okay. Good. I like your scientific analysis there on how does ice melt. So that's really good. That's really good. And it doesn't lead to my next question, but I'm going to go to my next question anyway.
Okay.
Can you challenge Shaquille O'Neal to a one-on-one basketball game?
Oh, probably not. You know, the guy's just a huge tower compared to me. I'm 6 foot. This dude's like 7'1". So there's no chance, like me just trying to reach the ball. I look like a little hobbit next to him, you know. So no, he would definitely destroy me in any one-on-one games. Maybe not acting, you know. I mean, he's
Oh,
decent. He
okay,
has charisma. I would say that. But
okay,
acting, you know, we'll see like who's better at that.
okay. Fair enough, fair enough. I met Shaq a very,
Okay.
very long time ago. He is a massive, massive man, and I
Yes.
remember meeting you, and you're very tall, and I'm very short. And then when I met Shaq, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like
Hmm.
triple the size of you
Yeah,
in the sense of heights.
it's very intimidating. That's what it is. You know, the height is like, oh my god.
But that being said, I think you can at least maybe beat him in a free throwing contest. Maybe,
Maybe I
maybe
might have the chance there.
you might have a chance. I'm just saying. So Shaq, if you're
Right.
listening, if you're watching, viewing my interview show, the challenge is on now. So
Ooh,
let's
damn.
go. Free throwing contest. Eddie versus Shaq.
That's just too much pressure, man. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm out of
All right, bye,
here.
Eddie. This concludes our episode of These Are Questions. Thanks everyone for listening and watching. We'll see
There
you
you
next
go.
time. All right, great, great. So I wanted to talk about your props, and we kind of went a little bit
Hmm.
into it, but I want to get more
Yeah.
deep into it, specifically with one question in particular. I
Hmm.
wanted to know, what was the hardest replica prop you created, and what is the hardest thing about making that specific prop?
The hardest replica I created was actually when I first built one of these wands myself. You know, I did what they call scratch build, where
Okay.
you're going to Home Depot and you're picking these parts that kind of look very similar to this itself. You know, not 100% accurate, but at least close enough, as movie as close as you can be possible. You know, without having to like read any tutorials online, that kind of stuff. So I building one of those, and also building my very first proton pack was an all scratch build using pot pans and bicycle lights, you know, just trying to replicate what you see on film. That was the hardest one. That one took me at least 3 weeks to like fully complete from beginning to end, finding out the parts, seeing like what would look best, you know.
Mhm.
And then after that, then you go into like the gluing, the painting process, the lighting process, and then mounting the wand to the pack, and also mounting it to your shoulders, because you have to find a way to hook it up like a backpack. I found that the most challenging prop to ever work on. After that one, it would have to be one of my 3D printed guns that I purchased. I purchased a 3D printed gun,
Mhm.
and it comes like completely gray, you know, and like roughed up and all that stuff. So the time and effort to get that sanded down, nice and smooth, and then painting process to make it look as real as possible. That is also another challenge on itself, because you could paint the prop in a certain way, but then the paint, either the elements get to it, making the paint crack and splinter and web, which is not a good sign, because then you have to start all over again by sanding it down again. Um, and sometimes if you paint something, it might not look the way you imagine in your mind. You know, like if you spray like a chrome paint on it to make it look like a silver prop,
Mhm.
then you add sealer to it, it just dulls the paint big time, and then that's it. You lose your reflectivity. It doesn't look silver anymore. It looks like a dark gray.
Oof.
So yeah, I would say like those are like the toughest challenges when it comes to the props that I've made in the past. But those are the two that come in mind when I was like thinking, what's the hardest ones I've ever worked on.
Okay. Okay, that makes a lot of sense though, because especially with the backpack, because it's like it's so delicate, and when you're
Hmm.
putting it on your shoulders and you're having movements going around, like any little thing can just break the entire piece. So like it gets very difficult in that sense.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry, my camera just shut off on me.
Oh, no problem. See, that's what happened to me earlier, but instead of my camera, it was my this little, you can't see it, but it's a little, oh, there you go. Oh, there we go.
I
We both have it
we,
now.
we both have to,
Oh
yeah,
my
our
goodness.
webcam.
We're keeping this in for our audience that are watching and for the listeners
There
that are listening. So for
we go.
context, before I started this, you probably noticed that like my camera's a little bit off. Like it's usually a little more high quality. And you saw Eddie's
Yeah.
version was also high quality. So like right
Ah,
before, like on the 11 hour, like 6:59, right before our scheduled time, my jack USB cable just died on me. So that killed my camera at the moment. So thankfully I have a backup with the webcam, but I'm like scrambling at the moment.
Same here. You know, technical issues, they always happen when you least expect it. It sucks, but you know, it does happen. It's a lesson to be learned, you know.
Yes, absolutely. These are questions. It wouldn't be These Are Questions season 4 without it.
Yeah, there we go.
Just saying. Eddie, let me ask you this. Do you like games?
I do. Yes.
Okay, cool. Do you like cheese?
Of course.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. For those watching and for those listening, I'm gonna pull out a little game that I created called No Cheese, No Coin, the card game for people who like cheese and money.
Huh. Okay.
So I think this fits your demographic. It's a quick playing, fast timing card game. And before I go into shilling about the game itself, why I brought this out is because we're gonna play a little game within the game.
Okay.
Since you like cheese and you like games, I'm gonna pull out some cards from the deck, and I'm gonna want you to pick one card from there, and we're gonna determine what your cheese type is.
Huh.
Okay?
Interesting.
So think of like a tarot reading, but with cheese.
Huh. Very interesting. I like that. I like this idea.
Okay.
Better than tarot cards.
Absolutely. That's what we're going to use on the quote for the website where you can purchase No Cheese, No Coin. It's better than a tarot reading.
There you go.
There you go. So let's pull it out here. All right. So these are some of the cards here. And let me just shuffle for, you know, just make sure.
Okay.
That's what the tarot people do. You know,
sounds
good.
good.
Determine your future here with the type of cheese that you decide to pick. It will determine a lot about yourself, Eddie. So
oh, I gotta keep my fingers crossed. Yeah.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. All right, so here we go. And look at all these different cheeses.
Okay.
I want you to pick one, and it's gonna be a little bit tricky because we're on a webcam. But see which one that speaks to you.
You know what? I'm just gonna go straight in the middle, straight to the middle.
Okay, so like I think it was right here. Hopefully.
Right there. Yeah, right there. That one.
Okay, this one. Okay.
Yep.
All right. You, my friend, are a slice of American cheese.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, how can you get it any better?
Exactly.
I enjoy that. Yeah.
See, Americana cheese, you know, grilled cheese sandwich you can make with this.
Ooh.
Some old-fashioned macaroni and cheese. You know, you could.
Stop. You're making me hungry. Come on. That's not fair. What kind of interview is this? You're making me hungry.
This is the These Are No we're keeping that in. This is the No Cheese, No Coin interview show for These Are Questions. Making you hungry and tongue-tied at the same time.
Yeah.
So there you go. In the game, the American cheese allows you to shuffle the deck how you see fit. So you can shuffle as many cards as you want. You can shuffle one card if you want to. You can flip the card. You can flip the deck over if you want. You know, you do you.
Nice.
That fits the American cheese, the American spirit of the American cheese.
There you go.
Okay. Well, thank you for playing. I hope you learned a lot about your cheese type.
Yeah, surprisingly, I'm American cheese. Nice. I'm happy with that.
Americana. So, my next question is, have you ever met Boba Fett?
I have not. I was hoping that one day, if I get to a convention, I would meet, you know, Boba Fett. Never got the chance to. I met other like people that dressed up as Boba Fett or Mandos, you know, and that was always great. But to actually like meet the actual actors who are underneath the suits, haven't got the chance, and sadly, I'm not going to get the chance now that Boba Fett himself has passed away. May he rest in peace. You know, but hopefully one day I'll meet Pedro Pascal as Mando, you know, or Bo-Katan herself. You know, that'd be awesome. You know, all those people I would like still hope to meet. I still hope to meet Harrison Ford, Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill himself. Hopefully, we'll see.
We'll see. It's gonna happen at some point in your life.
Yeah. I've met a lot of celebrities in my day, so I'm actually like very happy who I've met in the past. So, you know, I'm still want to keep going.
That's cool. Who's your most favorite celebrity that you met?
Let's see. There's a tie between two. One was Ernie Hudson, who plays Winston in Ghostbusters. dude is amazing. You know, very welcoming, very accepting of his fans, and just I was sitting there like chatting with him the whole time when I met him. It was really really cool. We were talking about the movie he did Congo years ago, and surprisingly, like he was just in there having a conversation with me. That was really cool. Next person would have to be a voice actor named Vic Miana. I've met Vic Miana many times back in the past. And he was the voice of Broly in Dragon Ball Z. He's done Edward Elric and Full Metal Alchemist, and I've met him a few times. I've bumped into him a few times, and every time he sees me, he's like, "Oh, Eddie," I'm like, "Oh, wow, he remembers me." And I also got the chance because I'm also inspiring voice actor myself. I've always thought I could do like a very good Broly impression of like how he screams and how he talks. And I was lucky enough to actually do it for Vic Miana. He put me on the spot. He's like, "Hey, okay, I want to hear you Broly," and I did it for him. And he was blown away. He was shocked. He's like, "Okay, that was great," So it was nice. And he even mentioned it to another friend of mine. Like after years later, I bumped into him again, and I told a friend of mine that, "Oh yeah, this is the voice of Broly." And Vic Miana doesn't like to do the voice of Broly every single time because it's harsh on your throat. I completely understand. Mm-hmm. So what did he do? He actually Vic pointed to me like he can do a great Broly. Ask him to do it.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, that was a really really awesome time. Yeah.
That's amazing. What a compliment.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I couldn't believe
it. That's amazing. I'm glad that happened. That's a personal compliment. That's so cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Dope. Very cool. Now my next question is, in one word, describe how you make your special VFX effects.
Oh, one word. Got it. Adobe. There you go.
Good answer.
Hands down, Adobe right there.
Okay. Adobe After Effects, I see.
Yep, Adobe After Effects or Adobe Premiere. I use Adobe systems to do my VFX.
Very cool, very cool. We're not sponsored by Adobe by any means.
No, we're not.
No.
Adobe, sponsor us. Come on. Mm-hmm. Sponsor him. Come on. Right there.
Right there. Do the thing. Do the thing. Make the connection. Let's go. It's awesome. That's awesome. Now, and it's cool that you have a lot of different experience in different fields. You got a chance to meet various individuals in your respective fields, from celebrities to big time players, which is awesome. I would like to ask, what would you like to tell up and coming talents that want to get to any of your respective fields? What's the advice?
Honestly, you just have to go out and do it. It's not about like, oh, it's going to come to you. No, you have to physically grab a camera. It doesn't matter if it's your phone. I mean, phones nowadays have great cameras on them. Pick up something and just go for it. They're like, when it comes to my prop making, sometimes you just go straight to Target, straight to Walmart, buy yourself a Nerf gun, buy yourself like a little plastic sword, whatever. You could make that look into a realistic weapon. Be careful when you step outside, though. I always, say that's a warning. Do not step outside with these guns if you paint them like a black color or anything like that. But with con, like using them at a con or something, you could create like these great things from a very cheap source, So that's my main advice is like, if you have a dream to film something or act in something or voice something, just go and do it. Doesn't matter if you fail, doesn't matter if you look stupid or goofy. Do not think that way, because that's the way of thinking like that is going to set you back. You have to say the heck with all that and just go and do it.
Absolutely. It's great advice there. And honestly, that's really is. If you're someone new that's really trying to start, the best thing you do is just start. You don't have to have the best equipment. You don't have to have the greatest talent. You don't have to have all the greatest resources. You just have to start with what you have and build from there. And then once you build from there, you just start making things happen, and then things start happening for you.
Exactly. Yep, definitely.
So very wise advice. That's awesome. Thank you.
No, thank you.
We're flattery here on These Are Questions. Aww. We're not just all about questions and then messed up cameras and audio and technical issues. We have some flattery.
It happens. See, that's exactly what brings me to another point. We're doing it, though. We're not letting it stop us. We're going for it.
Absolutely.
We're embracing. Just embrace it.
Absolutely. Just manifest
There
it.
you go.
There we go. There we go. And it leads me to my last question that I want to ask you here on These Are Questions.
Okay.
The question I want to ask you is, it's the zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
And you are stuck at a Walmart for 24 hours until the rescue comes to save you. During that 24 hours, what would you do to survive?
Well, if you're stuck in a Walmart in a zombie apocalypse, best thing you could do is barricade the doors. Make sure everything is locked and secured. It's a little harder because most of the doors at Walmart are glass, so you have to find a way to barricade that as best as possible. Find a little spot or a corner where you're comfortably being in, and you're able to lock that up as well. That way, you keep yourself protected. And let's say you have, you're stuck in a Walmart, so you're gonna have food there. You have to ration your food because you don't know how long you're gonna be there until help arrives. Um, Also, another thing is make yourself weapons. Find anything in the store to make yourself a weapon. Because here's the thing: you're gonna need a melee weapon of some kind to fend this off. And Walmart sometimes sell guns, so hopefully you could find something there that could work in that situation. Also, hardware tools, great thing for weapons too. Using a nail gun, you got a gun right there.
Yep.
Drill, drill will work too.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I believe in a zombie apocalypse, one thing you need to be aware of, like if you are, coming face to face with a horde of zombies, never stay in one place for too long. Never have your back turned for too long, because that 1 second, counts. That 1 second you think you're fine, and then one shows up right behind you. Always turn your back. Always run in different directions, and also don't be afraid to fight like up against the corner, because your back is protected right there. Nothing's going to sneak up on you. But the main thing is never stay in one place for too long.
That's actually another piece of good advice, not just in the context of the zombie apocalypse, but just general in life. Just never stay in one place too long. Always keep moving, doing stuff. So in this case, yeah, definitely move around. Don't get bit by zombies. Don't recommend it. I was a zombie a couple times before. I recommend it for some things, but not for other things. So
and also don't forget to layer up. One thing that you probably have seen in other movies is that you could put magazines or a phone book. I mean, who has phone books now? So it'd be like a book, layer up your arms, your shoulders, and your legs, and even your ankles, because zombies could grab you from there and bite. So you just want to have layers so that way they can't actually bite into your skin.
Good advice as well. That's also very good advice. Good tips, with Eddie Baltodano. You could be in the next Zombieland movie if they do Zombieland 3, and you can add those tips to it.
Honestly, I mean, a few years back, I did try to get a walk-on role as a zombie in The Walking Dead, because I lived in Georgia at the time, and they were filming Walking Dead at the time, and I submitted a kind of like a demo reel, to just say like, hey, I could be a zombie, that kind of thing, or I could be an actor, an extra. I don't care. Sadly, it didn't get called back, but I kept trying. Even try to audition for Stranger Things when they were filming there too. I lived like 2 miles away from where they were filming.
Oh, that's cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. Hey, you still have a chance with Stranger Things. They have their final season in a couple of years as of this recording. So
very much, yeah.
Yeah. You can walk into the set and be the Stranger Thing.
Yeah, I just come in just plain clothes, like, hey, I'm strange. There we go.
There you go. And I'm a thing. Perfect. Stranger Things. The show was meant for me.
I blame my height. I'm scary enough, I guess, with the height.
Yes, and if you bring Shaq back, behind you, you even be scarier. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Now, if you look at the time of my invisible watch, yes, we're bringing that joke back. I can't think of anything for the end right now. That's context for people who watch season 2 and possibly season 3. I don't know. You do you. If you look at my invisible watch, we're at the end of our episode, Eddie.
Okay. So sad.
I know.
It went by so quick.
I know. It's crazy. A lot of things can happen in a very short period of time.
That is true. That is so true.
Absolutely. But now it is your time. Anything you want to say, anything you want to promote, anything you want to do while you're here in the metaverse. Wait, can I say metaverse? Can I legally say that? Scratch that. In the internet multi-universe.
There we
This
go. That
is
sounds
your,
better.
there you go. That's legally distinct. This is your time to shine. The floor is yours.
Well, like I said, I'm Eddie Baltodano. I have a little tiny YouTube channel called Cosplay Time. Give that a check out. Give me a subscribe. That helps the channel grow even more. You have no idea. My catchphrase: everybody can cosplay. And it's always cosplay time. Also, I have my Instagram account. It's Cosplay Time. It's called. So you could check out my photos of the props that I've made, and also me in costume as well. Also on my Cosplay Time channel, you can also see like me creating stuff like lightsabers or proton wands, that kind of stuff, and also have a nice video on there that shows you how I made Negan's bat from the Walking Dead itself. So that was actually really cool. So yeah, if you ever see my channel, please give everything a watch. If you like what you see, comment, subscribe, like the video. That helps out even more. But yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. And if you do come to my channel, enjoy.
Yes, absolutely. Please enjoy his channel and all of his various works. You definitely will be entertained.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And with that, Eddie, it was a pleasure interviewing you on These Are Questions. And for those listening and watching, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on my various podcast feeds, we just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And for those that are viewing, you have been watching / listening to These Are Questions. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Or good morning. Or good afternoon.
Either one of those. Yeah, either one. Throw them all out there.
It's currently 7:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You could be in California and watch it at 2:44 p.m.
Pretty much, yeah.
Or you could be watching this in the middle of the night while you're trying to go to work the next morning, but you can't fall asleep. So you just put on These Are Questions.
There you go. That's
there
how
you go.
do it.
That's the way to do it. It helps you go to sleep and it helps you wake yourself up. It does both.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.